Hello everyone and welcome to another banner review, and today we are going to be reviewing the newest banner, and because the game's not up yet, I don't actually have the game up yet. So we're going to quickly go through a lot of the units really fast because there isn't too much to talk about with most of them. First of all, Lara Croft. Now, Lara is, well, she's a free unit, and that should pretty much tell you everything she is. And while I want to make quick mention of one thing, Lara Croft is limited. Every other unit that we are going to talk about today on this banner is not a limited time unit. There have been people saying, oh my god, this limited time characters. It's like, no, they're not. They're Brave Exvius characters, except for Lara Croft. Alright, so Lara Croft, basically a free unit, 5 to 6 star, has some chaining abilities, has minor amounts of killer and some, elemental resistance, can natural dual wield, can ignore a fatal attack if her HP is high enough, but in general, she's nothing special, she's nothing interesting. Good for new players who need some kind of a chainer at the start. Everyone else can just pass her by and keep her, I guess, as kind of an interesting unit. Next up is our unit. What's his name? Ishii. Interesting. Although it should be like Ishiri. Anyway. Whatever. So his TMR is a hat, 20 attack, 20%, or 20 spirit, I should say, not 20% spirit, then it would be damn decent. And resist silence by 50%. Okay, in general, in his kit, nothing super or exciting, but I think his unit actually looks pretty cool. I'd be happy to get one of him. Now, next up is our 4-star base Francis, or as I'm going to call him, Fire Katana. Now, Fire Katana here is actually kind of interesting. A little bit. He has fire imbue on his attacks, he has some fire elemental attacks, he has some multi-hit attacks, as well as he can boost himself. He's kind of in basically a unit who only cares about himself, and that's a big problem. But he does have Katana Mastery naturally in his kit, and he has a counter ability, so honestly, he's not horrible. He's not horrible. He's also nothing really that special. Now, his accessory is a 40 attack stat accessory, or his TMR, I should say. 3 points to defense, 10% to HP, and resist blind by 100%. So it's a decent enough accessory for attackers who don't have blind, but it feels like plenty of them still do. And last but not least, and this is the character that's actually really important to talk about, Yuraisha. Yuraisha is easily the best thing about this entire banner. As a matter of fact, she's absolutely amazing. Her Trust Mastery is a 40% to Spirit, 20% to MP, autocast, 20% defense every turn, and 20% spirit every turn, so basically auto protect and auto shell. Her super trust mastery is a hat, and this hat is kind of amazing, although it's really a barrette. Anyway, 34 defense, 95 spirit, which is amazing, 30% to HP, and auto regen every turn. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely great if you want to make any healer or anyone just have a much higher spirit. This girl is definitely pretty great for that. Now, her base spirit is 206, which, considering that she is a support unit, that's pretty damn awesome. Now, in her kit, she has damage reduction, she has AoE 120% for 3 turns, AoE 150% limit burst increase rate, which is important. We'll talk about it in a minute. She has the same version except with magic, and her version that gives a boost to spirit and defense either give MP or HP respectively. She also has revive. She has dual cast, which is good because she has some actual nice spells, Eroja and Quake, meaning that she can be a wind chainer while still buffing the party. So kind of like CG Nickel. And that's a little bit of a theme that's going on with this one. 20% physical damage mitigation and recovers 3000 HP, AoE 20% magic damage mitigation for 3 turns and recovers 30 MP. She has 70% resist for wind and earth for 3 turns and a 70% light and dark resist for 3 turns. Very nice, very nice. She can hit an enemy and remove all status effects from one enemy, so kind of all status effects. I'm curious if that means buffs. If that's the case, then that's very strong. She has an AoE remove defense debuffs and hurts herself, or does it hurt herself? There's a little bit of a parsing issue, but this character has kind of this element to her where she hurts herself and she helps the party. So she does HP damage and helps the party. So that's kind of nice about her. Other than that, she has a removed defense debuff and it's self 2000 HP heal for one and self 50 MP heal for another. So that's okay because she removes the defense debuff on your party. Although I think the MP one is probably a spirit one. Anyway, moving on. She has an AoE 130% to all stats for 3 turns and hurts herself for 2000 HP. She has an ability, actually she has 2 abilities that give for 3 turns to one person 50% physical or magical damage versus beasts, or another ability that gives versus demons, so that's really cool. But her big things are her cooldown abilities. An AoE 170% to attack and magic for 3 turns, hurts herself for 4000 HP, but also gives some limit burst crystals and enables an ability that she can use another cooldown ability after. So kind of interesting. She also has an AoE 40% damage reduction for 3 turns and 100% blind, sleep, paralyze, confuse, disease, and petrify resist to allies for 3 turns. Now this is on a 6-turn cooldown, available turn 1, so it's okay. I don't think it's quite as good as what Ignis can do, but this is kind of like if you took Ignis and I feel like CG Nicole and put them in a blender and then gave her just more abilities. Sorry, just have to get that ready. Now in her kit, she has extra MP, Spirit, more MP when equipped with Staff, Silence, Paralyze, and Petrify resistance, 5% MP recovery per turn. More importantly, she is auto immune to Stop. Now that is incredibly important because, as we all know, Stop is just one of the biggest status effects. So being able to just say, I don't really care about Stop is a big deal here. So I'm going to say that that's absolutely just awesome, awesome, awesome for a buffer to have this. Extra to defense and spirit, she has a W ability, meaning she can use 2 of many of her abilities in a turn. More defense and HP, sleep resistance, 20% extra bonus stats from espers, 20% to magic, 30% to MP and earth, wind, and dark resistance, as well as 2 natural crystals, limit burst crystals per turn. Now, this is what now we're going to start getting into. Now, her linked abilities are basically that she can unlock a few extra abilities that give her some defense, spirit per turn, as well as an AoE 4000 HP or 3000 HP barrier with 170% to defense and spirit. So that's just absolutely amazing. She also has an ability she unlocks which gives an AoE 65% defense and spirit debuff to the enemy, as well as a debuff for wind and earth. So for earth users, this is really good support unit. Wind users too. It really reminds me of actually Santa Rosalia. Excuse me. It really reminds me of Santa Rosalia, who has, I believe it's Ice and Holy, or is it Ice and Wind? Either way, that kind of debuff ability is super, super important. Interesting. The game just shut down. And yes, I called it. I called it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, never mind. It's working. Oh, shut up. Cool. All right. So it's loading in the update. But here's the big deal about this girl. Why you would potentially really want her. An AoE 170%. Now, okay. I'm getting a little excited. Her limit burst maxed out 7-star AoE plus 170% to attack, defense, and magic and spirit for 3 turns, 3000 HP barrier for 3 turns, AoE limit burst rate increase by 200% for 3 turns. Strongest buffer in the game. Now, of course, many units can just self-buff, but this is a very, very strong buff. And the HP barrier on top of it is super nice because you're going to be taking a lot less. Big stat bonus. Now, so I have to say, this banner is really nice for a couple of reasons and really bad for a couple of reasons. So the bad reasons. First of all, there is no step up. So if you're going for her, she is by herself, but no step up means no extra rate increase, which could make her a little bit difficult to pull. And she's not time limited. Well, that's on the good side. The other bad thing that I do not like about this is that many times we get these jumps in terms of what a unit can do, and then after we see a better unit. And CG Water Veritas could be that better unit. So honestly, when it comes right down to it, I'm not sure how I quite feel about going super hard for her. But if you didn't have anything else, then this is fairly decent. This is actually incredibly decent. You could get a top-tier buffer, as a matter of fact, a much stronger top-tier buffer than what most people have, including myself. But if you already have Ignis or potentially, who is it? CG Nickel already maxed out, max statted and everything. This might not be worth super going for, but I have to admit, she is way better than I thought she would be. The good things about this banner is that she's the only 5-star on it, meaning that you could potentially get a couple of her fairly easy. But again, it's going to come down to a luck because there is no step up whatsoever. So I would like to do a full and potentially better review of her maybe in the future and showcase if I do get her. Not that I'm necessarily trying that hard for her, but we'll see. So that is all. I would say that this is a actually fairly damn decent one to go for if you have the choice. If you don't have the choice, if you don't have the resources, just maybe pass it up and we'll see if we get Aerith or CG Water Veritas in the next few months and see how amazing they are. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.